Ex-mother-in-law called CPS on me. My daughter is 23. For context, by the end, the marriage between my ex-wife and I turned incredibly toxic, mostly because of how involved my ex-mother-in-law was in our relationship. My daughter was 14 when we separated, 15 when we divorced, and our court system permitted her to choose where she wanted to live. She chose me full-time and after some time refused to visit her mother or her grandmother. Looking back, I should have left earlier. Those last couple of years had a horrible impact on my child and she resorted to self-harm as a teen. Thankfully, I noticed it quickly enough that we could get help and she has been self-harm free for over 6 years, but she has always hated her scars. This brings us to last year. She approached me to ask for advice on tattoos and if I would refer her to some artists that I know, and I did just that. She got a beautiful piece done which covers up everything she wanted to cover up. She was really excited and posted about it on social media. Maybe a week after her tattoo was done, there was a knock on the door from a social worker. My daughter opened the door. The worker asked if I lived in that house and he asked to be let in to talk about some accusations that were filed against me. We sat down and he asked us where my daughter was. I pointed at her. No, he is looking for my 17-year-old daughter. I don't have a 17-year-old daughter. The one called XY. So daughter pulls out her ID to show that that is her name. We look confused. He looks confused. It took us a bit to figure out about the accusation that said I forced my 17-year-old to get a tattoo of my own face without permission from the other parent. Was really about a 23-year-old getting a tattoo on her own. Poor worker is incredibly embarrassed and leaves. At this point, we have no clue who made the accusation, but there is a pretty limited pool of suspects that shrinks to one after ex-mother-in-law goes on a social media rant about men not knowing how to raise children right. You are not an adult before you are 30, and of course none of this would have happened if ex-wife were the one raising daughter. Not much has happened since, mostly because we moved to the other side of the country this past month. Daughter changed her legal name, and everyone on that side of the family was blocked on every social media platform possible. Let's hope this was the last time we have had to deal with their bullcrap. Update. First things first, thank you so much for the lovely and amazing response on the first post. Not going to lie, some of the comments praising me as a parent made me tear up. I always felt like I failed because I didn't protect her enough, and some of the comments made me realize that I might have been looking at it wrong. This prompted me to start going to therapy again, and even after such a short time I have been noticing that I'm doing better, so I want to thank all of you for that. As to what happened in the past 3 weeks or so, some of the comments mentioned possible dementia, and while I dismissed it at first, it kind of never left my mind. So, after some thinking, I decided to reach out to my ex's sister. She is pretty low contact with her family. She was the only one who took my side during the divorce, and she still keeps some contact with me after all these years. I messaged her, told her what happened, and just asked her to maybe check in on her mom because this could be something serious. I pretty much forgot about it. But then yesterday ex-sister-in-law messaged me back with a quick update. It's not dementia, she is just going crazy in a way narcissists do. She is apparently fully aware of my daughter's age and what went on during the divorce. She remembers everything. She just wanted to put us in our place. Why she thought that this was the way to do it, no one understands. We also found out what most likely triggered all of this. My ex finally grew somewhat of a spine and moved out. Went no contact. She moved out of the whole country, actually to another continent. Ex-mother-in-law is now well and truly alone. Her next step was one that I wouldn't have believed if my ex-sister-in-law didn't send me a picture of it. There are now 2 urns in mother-in-law's living room, one for my ex, one for my daughter. She acts like they are dead. I thanked ex-sister-in-law for the update. Checked again that mother-in-law is blocked everywhere, and this is it. We are out. Daughter is going through the process of making sure that her name is changed everywhere. If you try to find her using her birth name, you won't find her. She is also doing better during day-to-day life, and she is thinking about applying for college this year. We moved to a city with a good university so she could still live with me and get her education, which seems like made her a bit less anxious about it, so here's to hoping. As for the false CPS report, I have it documented and I'll have it if she shows up again. We decided not to pursue it for now because we don't even want to think about her for the foreseeable future. So yeah, I guess this is it. I might use this account for some updates if people are interested in how we are doing, or I might share some old stories from the time ex-mother-in-law was actively making my life a living hell. We'll see. Summary: ex-mother-in-law doesn't have dementia, she is just going regular crazy. Ex-wife seems to be out of the picture for good. We are doing good and better each day. And now for the comments. I would suggest making sure the CPS worker makes note that the anonymous accuser lied about your child's age, and have it on record because she's going to do it again. Also suggest that your daughter double check her friends list, because when your ex-mother-in-law sees she's blocked by her granddaughter, she'll blame you for that too, for keeping her away from her grandbaby. If she does anything again, Get a lawyer and send her a nice letter telling her where to go. Great job. Moving cross-country and blocking family on social media will hopefully prevent a repeat performance. Calling CPS for an adult getting a tattoo. You know she lied about your daughter's age just to stir up trouble.